Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. We've got karlov Manor's leaks, spoilers, leaks. We've got cards. Let's take a look at them. We got quite a few to go over, so before we get started, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Links to all kinds of places you can support the channel by buying cards in the description. Subscribe, hit Rumble Up. We're on there as well. There's a membership function. Hook up a brother. So, without further ado, let's check out all these new sweet cards from Murder at Karlov Manor. So we're going to start off with a brand new card, which is a case. So this is a new mechanic from the set. This is the Case of Medusa's Kiss. It's 1 black. It's an enchantment, a case. It says when the case enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target creature that has been dealt damage this turn. To solve it, if 3 or more creature cards have entered the graveyard from anywhere this turn, and once you solve it, the case becomes a 4/4 Medusa creature with Death Touch and Lifelink and remains its original types. So, what we have here is something very similar to a Saga, but has triggered conditions, which is kind of cool, I'm not going to lie. The ability to get a 4/4 Medusa by wrapping the board, for example, is pretty sweet. So I think I like these case mechanics. I like the fact it comes in, it does something. If you solve it by meeting conditions, you get a special thing. That's really cool. I like the mechanic. I like the card. It's pretty sweet. Can't wait to see some more. So, with all that said, let's get in some more and see what else we got going on in this set. Next we have Tomic, the Wielder of Law. Black, white, and 1 for a Mythic 2/4. Flying Vigilance 2/4 for 3. Wow. Affinity for Planeswalkers. We'll just leave that one alone for a minute. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, that opponent loses 3 life and you draw a card. Holy crap. Not only is this a great card for Standard because it's a 3-mana 2/4 Flying Vigilance, it has affinity for planeswalkers if you're playing planeswalkers. It makes it great for Commander. It has the ability to make your opponent lose 3 life, you draw a card, which also in Commander means you can draw 3 cards. Everybody wants to slap you in the face. Holy cow. This in a deck with goading is going to be bonkers. So this is looking like one of my hot picks. Wow, this is good. Next we have Voja, Jaws of the Conclave. White, green, red, and 2 for a 5-mana 5/5 that has Vigilance, Trample, and Ward 3. And that's probably only because they stopped because they ran out of room in the text box. Anyway, whenever it attacks, you put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of elves you control. Draw a card for each wolf you control. Alrighty, so, I mean, this kind of goes in an elf/wolf deck, I guess. I mean, in a wolf deck, it seems great to draw a card for every wolf you control. I don't know if the elf thing will come in to play. However, in Limited, it's going to be great. Probably just okay in Standard. I mean, a 5/5 for 5, Vigilance, Trample, Ward 3 is fine. Overpowered in Limited. But in Commander, when you can play cards that give your creatures all creature types, so not only is your stuff wolves, they're also elves, so they get counters and you draw cards. Ooh, boy. Oh, those banner cards and other cards that make all your creatures the same thing starting to look really good. Alright, next here we have Malik, Reforged Researcher. Red, blue, and 3. Base power and toughness is equal to twice the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Okay. The first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 3 less. Holy smoly. This makes those time walks really be time walks. If you cast them first, I'm just saying. This is a good mythic. This is going to be a bomb commander. Holy cow. Great commander card. Other than that, it's probably just going to be okay. Might see a little standard play. Great for limited. Seems pretty nice. Next, we have the Sharp-Eyed Rookie. This rare is a green and 1 for a 2/2 Vigi. Whenever a creature entering the battlefield under your control, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if its power is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's power, or its toughness is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on Sharp-Eyed Rookie and investigate. Wow, that's a lot to say. Why didn't they just give this evolve with investigate? That'd have been a lot simpler. But whatever. This is going to be a great card. Amazing for standard and limited. I don't know if we'll go much past that, but this is going to be a good card. Probably going to see some play. Next, we have the Homicide Investigator. Dun, dun, dun. This rare is a black and 1 for a 2/2. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. Oh, that was almost really broken. I mean, fine for Aristocrat's deck, but since it only triggers once each turn and it's only an investigate, probably not too great for Commander. Maybe okay. Fine for limited. Probably won't see a whole lot of standard play, I don't think. I mean, pretty much just a 2/2. Next we have the Market Watch Phantom, white and 1 for this 2/2. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, the Market Watch Phantom gains flying in a turn. Yeah, nothing really going on here. Probably good for limited. Next we have Crime Stopper Sprite, blue and 2 for this 2/2 flyer. As additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect Evidence 6. So Evidence is exile cards with a total mana value 6 or greater from your graveyard. Okay? Whenever Crime Stopper Sprite enters the battlefield, tap target creature. If Evidence was collected, put a stun counter on it. I mean, the Evidence collected thing will probably be pretty cool in other cards. Nice to see that we got this card to see how the mechanic works first. I mean, this is fine for limited, not gonna lie, because the collect evidence thing, it will be a thing, and the ability to make a 2/2 flyer that taps something so you can get in is probably good enough for limited, but other than that, probably not. Next we have Sanitation Automation. That's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast. 2 colorless for a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Sweet limited card. I mean, what else do you need to say? A little bit of deck fixing. Anyway, no witnesses. 2 white and 2. Each player who controls the most creatures investigate, then destroy all creatures. Wow, not like a good old 4-mana Wrath of God. Each player who controls the most creatures investigates. So this is basically just Wrath of God. And your opponent gets 1 clue token. 1. For a 4-mana Wrath of God. Wow, we come full circle. You should have reprinted Wrath of God, been done with it. Great card, gonna be in everything. Just saying, it's gonna be in everything. I mean, this is Wrath of God. This is all probably good enough for Modern, other than the fact there's actually a Wrath of God in Modern. Yeah. Limited, Standard, Commander, everything. Anyway, moving on. Next we have the Dog Walker. Hey, red and Siri card, just saying. Red, white for a 3/1 with Vigi. New ability, Disguise. So Disguise is a red or a white twice. So 2 mana. You may cast this card face down for 3 colorless as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. You can turn it up at any time for its Disguise cost. Okay, so this is basically flipping cards face up. Morphing, basically. But anyway, when Dogwalkers turn face up, create 2 tapped 1/1 white dog creature tokens. Ren and Seri, I called it. Ren and Seri deck right here, guys. So, I mean, this is fine. Great for limited. Probably good enough for standard. Ren and Seri card. Ren and Seri. Anyway. Next we have the Loxodon. Oh, Eavesdropper. I thought it was going to say Ear Shaver. Anyway. Green and 3 for this 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you investigate. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, it gets +1/+1 and gains Vigilance to end a turn. Fine for limited. That's really about it, though. Moving on. Next we have Felonious Rage. 1 red, target creature you control gets +2/+0, gains haste till end of turn. When that creature dies this turn, create a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. Alright, whatever. We see this card, but it was making 3/2s last time when it was in Strixhaven, but it didn't give a +2/+0. Still a fine card, be great for limited. And a few Pauper decks. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. Next we have defensive strative phantom defensive straight. So anyway, this creature is a 2 white and 4 for a 4/3 flyer with a disguise of 1 of white and 4. So you can make it a 2. You can put it face down and play it for. We have a 4/3 flyer for 5 later. Limited at best, but still cool. Next we have Extracted Confession. Black and 1 for this sorcery. Additional cost of this spell. You may collect evidence 6, which if you guys remember is you exile mana value 6 or greater from your graveyard. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If evidence was collected, instead each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. This is sweet. It kind of gives, I mean, you almost don't want to collect evidence, and you really don't have to if you only got one creature. This is going to be a good removal card, good for Pauper. I like this. This is a good card. Alright, we have the land cycle for the set. This is Commercial District. So it is a red or green, comes in a battlefield tapped, and you get to surveil when it enters the battlefield. But here's the kicker, guys. This is a mountain forest. You can search this with fetch lands. Yes, it comes into play tapped, but you get to surveil one. Who cares? In a land where you have fetch lands everywhere, mountain forests and things like that come into play, it doesn't matter if they're tapped because you fetching them. They come into play tapped. You don't care. It's going to be great for Commander. The surveil is amazing. And it looks like this is going to be the land cycle for the set, which is not shabby. I'm going to say that. It's pretty good. Here's the black-red one. Enters the battlefield tap, surveil 1. And then, of course, we have all the rest. And unusually, we have all 10 cards in one set. So normally we get 5 cards in this one, 5 in another set. We got all 10 in this one. So it doesn't leave a whole lot of room for more rare lands. But, hey, at least we get them all in one set, I guess. It's kind of cool. Next, we have A Long Goodbye. A black and 1. The spell can't be countered. Destroy target creature or planeswalker mana value 3 or less. Holy cow, has Modern and Legacy been looking for something like this. This is Fatal Push on steroids. Holy crap. This is going to be a card, let me tell you. This is good in every format for everything. Period. End of story. Moving on. Next, we have No More Lies. Blue and white. Instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. Okay, it's basically a mana leak. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in the graveyard. Well, hey, I mean, what's better than mana leak? Maybe this? Probably not. Mana leak's still really cool because it has a colorless in it, but still, I mean, this is perfectly fine. Good replacement for mana leak in decks that need a little something extra, and are playing white. Next we have Crawl Whipcracker. Black and green. This bad boy is a 3/2 with reach. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target token and opponent controls. Holy cow, is this going to see some play. Big in Commander. Great card for Limited because it's a 3/2. Good for Standard because it's a 3/2 for 2. And at least sideboardable for older formats because it says destroy token. Like, there's this. And it's a 3/2. Have I mentioned it's a 3/2? It's a 3/2 for 2. Yeah, good card. Like it. Moving on, next we have, hey, look, it's Assassin's Trophy. Another reprint of Assassin's Trophy. So if you weren't playing last time this card was printed for the first time into Standard, this is going to be a 4 of in every deck that plays black and green. Just putting it out there. So yeah, this is good in all the formats. We already know that because it's the reprint. Moving on. Next we have Case of the Pilfered Proof. That's a lot. Alright, so white and 1. When a detective enters the battlefield, so this is the case. When a detective enters the battlefield under your control, and whenever a detective you control is turned face up, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Fine. To solve this case, you must control 3 or more detectives. If you do, you solve the case. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a clue token are created instead. Huh. So it's interesting, once you solve it, it stays on the board solved. Plus it has its other effect. Didn't really catch that last time. I thought it kind of went away, but this leads me to believe these stay on the battlefield and you keep getting the effect from them. That's really cool. I mean, this was probably not one of the better ones, but be fine for limited. Not even gonna lie. Next we have Bite Down on Crime. Oh, gee, I wonder what this is. Green and 3 additional cost. Collect evidence 6. Collect evidence 6 seems to be very prominent. Very prominent. This spell costs 2 less to cast if the evidence was collected. Okay, so you get 2 mana fight spell. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 in a turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Oh, it's not a fight spell. It's a direct damage spell. Even better. And I like the fact that you can still cast it without the collecting evidence part. Good for limited, but that's really it. Next we have Vitsugazi Inspector. Green and 1 for this 1/3. Additional cost to cast. You may collect evidence 6. It has a 1/3 with reach. It enters the battlefield. If evidence was collected, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and you gain 2 life. I mean, fine for limited, I guess. Moving on, we have Analyze the Pollen. We'll call it that. So this is 1 green sorcery. Collect evidence 8. Alright, so there's another number other than 6. Anyway, collect evidence 8. Search your library for a basic land card. If evidence was collected, instead search your library for a creature card or land card. Reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. I mean, this is just great on all. I mean, this is just mana fixing to the 10th degree, where later in the game it's not a dead card. Like, who doesn't want this? I don't think it's going to be very valuable, like, money-wise, but this is going to see play in Standard, Commander. That's probably about it, though, honestly. Just because it doesn't do a whole lot past that. There's better cards and Traverse the Open Wall and like a jazz. Anyway, it doesn't add up. So 2 black and 3 for this instant. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Suspect it. It has menace and can't block. Okay, so if you suspect a creature, the creature has menace and the creature can't block. I mean, we could just say give it menace and now it can't block, but whatever. We'll go with that. Basic graveyard reanimation. That's fine for limited. Commander. What have you. We have Airtight Alibi for green and 2. Enchantment Aura. This one has Flash and enchants a creature. Enters the battlefield. The creature gains hexproof at the end of turn. If it's suspected, it's no longer suspected. Oh, cool. So you can actually remove effects. The enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and can't become suspected. Dun dun dun. So I guess that's kind of cool because then you can block again, and it's interesting. This is probably only a limited card, but interesting that we find out about suspected. Convenient target, 1 red enchant creature. Enters the battlefield, suspect enchanted creature, which means it has menace and can't block. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and for red 2, you can return it from the graveyard to your hand. Cool, decent way to get damage through, plus a good way to pump your team. Kind of like it, limited style. We have the Public Thoroughfare. So this common land enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you tap an untapped artifact or land you control. Add 1 mana of any color. Just your basic common land with mana fixing for limited. Still pretty cool. You can tap an artifact for it. Crime Novelist, red and 2 for this 1/3. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on the Crime Novelist and add a red. Oh boy. Whoo doggy. Here's something that's going to be in a combo deck somewhere. I don't know where, but it will be there. This will going to be great for limited, maybe standard and modern. Like I said, there's a combo deck here somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. Where you sacrifice an artifact and you get it back, put it in the graveyard, make mana, cast, so forth and so on, and move forward. Yeah, someone's going to figure it out. Get to work on it, Commander guys. Next we have Galvanize. Hey, another reprint. Red and 1 deals 3 damage to target creature. If you've drawn 2, well, this isn't a reprint. If you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, Galvanize deals 5 damage to that creature instead. Okay, it's a new kind of. Didn't we already have a card called Galvanize? Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, this is a great removal card. I mean, it's a lightning bolt for creatures only that you can get up to 5 and kill about anything. So yeah, great for limited. Probably how far as it goes though. Sawmill Century, white-green for a 1/3 with reach. Whenever face down permanent you control is turn face up, put a +1/+1 counter on it and a counter on this. Definitely a limited card. Just putting it out there. But still okay. A mysterious creature. That's funny. You can cover a face up. Oh, okay. So when you put something face down, you put this on top of it. This is what it. Funny. Nice token. That's hilarious. Moving on. Next we have Expose the Culprit. Red and 1. You get to choose one or both. Turn target face down creature face up. Exile any number of face down creatures you control with disguise in a face down pile. Shuffle that pile, then cloak them. To cloak a card, put it onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 ward. Turn it face up anytime for its mana cost if it's a creature card. So exile any number of face up creatures you control with disguise. Huh. I'm sure there's some kind of weird combo here. The best thing I'm seeing is you put something down that costs like 5 mana to turn face up on turn 3. And, yeah, you cast this and flip it face up on turn 4. A little bit of a discount. Yeah, probably just limited. We'll see how that goes. Next we have Gadget Tactician, red, blue, and 2, 4 mana, 3/2. When it enters the battlefield or is turned face up, you get a 1/1 colorless adopter artifact creature token with flying. Has Disguise 2. This is a great card. You flip it down for 3. So for 5 mana, you get a 3/2 and a 1/1 if you want it. Or 4 mana, 3/2. Pretty sweet. Gonna be good for limited. Next we have Night Drinker Mirai. Black and 3 for a 4/2 flyer. Wow. When it enters the battlefield, you lose 3 life. Lit. It has Disguise though, so you may cast this card face. You may cast this card face down for 3 colorless, becomes a 2/2 creature, turn it face up. So interestingly, if you put it face down, then flip it over, it's not entering the battlefield, so you won't lose 3 life. I don't think. Check me in the comment section about that, but I think that's how it's going to be played out. So for 5 mana, you can get a 4/2 flyer the roundabout way on turn 4. So that's kind of cool if that's how it works. If that's the case, this is going to be really good and limited, just saying. Next, we have Auspicious Arrival, white and 1. Instant target creature gets +2/+2 to the end of turn. Investigate, basic combat trick for limited. Next, we have Deadly Complication. Red, black, and 1. Choose one or both. Destroy target creature. That's always going to get chosen. The other one is put a +1/+1 counter on target suspected creature you control. You may have it become no longer suspected. I mean, that's fine. I mean, this is a 3 mana kill something for sorcery and make your creatures bigger. This is going to get played in standard and limited and probably even commander. Good card. Next, we have Case of the Filched Falcon. What name? 1 blue. When it enters the battlefield, you investigate. Okay, to solve it, you control 3 more artifacts. Seems easy enough. Once it's solved, for a blue and 3, you may sacrifice the case. Put 4 +1/+1 counters on target non-artifact creature. It becomes 0/0 bird. Creature with flying in addition to other types. Oh, so artifact animation. Great for limited. Depending on how much more stuff comes out, this may be a thing for standard because, I mean, we still have Phyrexia out there hanging around. Next, we have the Axebane 4-Axe. 2 green and 2 for a 4/4 with Death Touch and Haste. Oh, look. It's the QB questing beast for those old timers. It has Ward, Collect Evidence 4. So if you want to kill it, you have to remove 4 mana worth of stuff from your graveyard. This is going to see tons of play. 4 mana, Hasting Death Toucher for 4. I mean, Questing Beast was this, and it was that good. And this has a built-in basic ward ability. I mean, Collect Evidence doesn't seem like ward, but it is. It's like graveyard manipulation. This is just good. Easily a $5 to $10 card. This is pretty good. Branch of Vitu-Ghazi. So a land that comes in, taps for colorless. It has Disguise 3. Oh, wow. You can make this land a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. When you turn it face up, add 2 mana of any one color until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases ends. That's really cool. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, you lose a mana to do it, but you're basically mana filtering for 1 turn. This is going to be great. This is a great commander card. This on point. And it may even be good enough for definitely limited, but maybe even standard, because there's nothing better than being able to take a land and make a creature out of it late game when you don't need a land. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Next we have Tessa, Opulent Oligarch. That doesn't sound good. Black, white, and 1 for a 2/3 with Death Touch. Beginning of your end step, investigate for each opponent who lost life this turn. Wow, is that good. Whenever a clue you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn. Holy cow. Wow. This is the epitome of what a clue deck needs, because you just start popping off 1/1s as you draw on cards. Commander All-Star, limited All-Star. Probably going to be good in standard. Just saying. This might be good enough for some of the older formats, depending on how the decks are built. This is definitely a card to look out for, guys. But again, it is Tessa. What do you expect? Anyway, Izoni, center of the web, black, green, and 4 for this 5/4 with Menace. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may collect evidence 4. If you do, you make 2/1 black, green spider creature tokens with Menace and Reach. Sacrifice 4 tokens. That's just tokens in general. Surveil 2, then draw 2, then gain 2. This is probably the new hot commander. I'm just going to put it out there. This seems really damn good. Limited All-Star. Probably good in standard. It is a lot of mana, but I mean, you get this out here and get the thing going, then it's good. It's going to be on. Be on like Donkey Kong. Anyway, because making 2/1s for nothing, just, removing stuff from your graveyard, seems pretty sweet. Just going to put that out there. Next we have War Leader's Call, white, red, and 1. Enchantment. Creature you control get +1/+1. Hey, nothing like the good old Crusade for an extra mana. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, War Leader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent with a bonus. Oh yeah. This is going to see some play in lots of things. Lots of things. So yeah, good card. Next we have Krinko, Baron of 10 Street. Oh, Krinko's back. So this time he's a 1 red and 2 for a 3/3 with haste. Wow. Sacrifice an artifact, put +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. Ooh, that's good. Whenever an artifact is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 red. If you do, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that gains haste in a turn. Yep, just like old Krinko, he's still the mob boss. Standard, limited, commander. Sweet times. All good. Next we have Case of the Ransacked Lab. I was ransnackled. Anyway, blue and 2. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, so that's permanent. That's sweet. To solve it, you cast 4 more instant sorcery spells in a turn. Very possible. Very, very possible. Once it's solved, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. Holy great googly moogly. This is a Commander All-Star. This is probably pretty good in Seal just because you get the mana cost reduction. If you ever solve it, God, Lord help your opponent. And this is definitely going to have some standard and some older play in older formats. You get this thing solved, like with an Arc like Phoenix deck. Oh wow, is it game on? I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm old school. Like, you lay this in a deck that not Cascade. What am I thinking of here? Not Reciprocate. Damn it. Storm, red blue Storm deck. You lay this, if they don't deal with it, and you start storming off, and you hit your 4th spell. After that, draw a card every time you cast an instant sorcery. It is game over. This is new life for the Storm deck, in my opinion, and many other decks. Like, this is absurd. This should be a mythic. Oh wow, wow. Anyway. Let's just pretend we didn't see that, I guess. Kylox, Visionary Inventor, red, blue, and 5 for a 4/4 with Menace, Sword 2, and Haste. Well, it is 7 mana. When it attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures, then exile top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instant and or sorcery spells from among the exiled cards without paying their mana cost. Really cool for Commander, but again, you got to have creatures and instants of sorceries. It's a bit much. But it is a Viashino Artificer, so, I mean, what do you expect? Moving on, we have Trostani's back. Trostani 3's Worshippers of Trostani. Trostani 3, anyway. Green, white, and a green or white split mana. So for 3, you get a 4/4 Mythic Dryad. Holy cow. For a green and 1, target creature gains Death Touch in a turn. Target creature, not this one. Target. Oh, that's good. Green or white, target creature gains Vigilance at the end of turn. Again, phenomenal. White and 2, target creature gains Double Strike till the end of turn. Sweet mother of God. Hey, I'm going to give my 4/4 here Double Strike. And I'm going to give it Death Touch. Block it. I dare you. And Vigilance for giggles. Like, this. Wow, Commander All-Star, Limited All-Star. Gonna see tons of standard play because it's a 4/4 for 3 with abilities that are bonkers. Yeah, this is gonna be an expensive card. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Tulsamir, the Midnight Light. 2 white, green, and 2 for a 3/2 with lifelink. When he enters the battlefield, you create Voja Finstalker, a legendary 5/5 green and white wolf creature token with trample. Whenever a wolf you control attacks, if Tolsimir attacked this combat, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this combat if able. Interesting. Great for limited. Probably good for standard. Because making people block your 5/5 is probably a good game plan. Just saying. Yeah, pretty good card. Next we have Massacre Girl, the known killer. Alright, she's a mythic this time. She's 2 black and 2 and a 4/4 with menace. Creatures you control have wither. They deal damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. Wow, is this a game changer. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness is less than 1, draw a card. Between this and Shieldred, Jesus, is black just stacked. Fat stacks. Big booty mamas. Just whooping the board. Just whooping. Whooping a whoop. I'm not... Commander, limited, standard. Anywhere else it'll fit in a deck that has a 4 mana spot. Jesus. I mean, I don't... This is insanely good. This is Shieldred good, I think. Like, when Shieldred rotates out, sure, price won't go down, but the price of this is going to go up. This thing is badonkers, whatever that means. Anyway. Next we have Argris Koss, Spirit of Justice, white, red, 2 for a 2/4 with double strike and vigilance. That seems fair. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. If it's suspected, exile it. Otherwise, suspect it. Oh my. It's got creature removal on it too. This is going to be great for limited, standard, commander, other shenanigan types of environments. Like, this is also a good card. Wow. Good stuff. All right, Scene of the Crime. This is a land clue. Keywords there. This is a clue. Enters the battlefield tapped, add for colorless, tap, and untap creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. This is a Springleaf Drum also. And for 2, you can sacrifice it to draw a card later. This is going to be a 4 of in many decks, especially standard, because it's a land that produces mana that you can get rid of later for a card advantage. Like, okay, maybe not 4. It's at 4, maybe a bit much. But the ability to tap your creatures to make mana of any color. This is so good. It's an artifact as well. Oh my god. Limited, commander, definitely standard. This is going to see play in some weird way. Yeah, this is going to be a thing. My brain just hurts. So much good cards. So anyway, we have Itaria, Deadly Fugitive, black, blue, and 1, a 1/4 Death Toucher. Face down creatures you control have black, blue, and 2. Turn this creature face up. If you can't, exile it. Then you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Turn this creature face up. If you can't, exile it. Oh, okay. So if it's not a creature for some reason, you turn it face up, you exile it and get to cast it. God, that's dumb. In a good way. Like, imagine flipping over your Time Walk because it's a creature and going, oh, not a creature. Guess what? It doesn't die, though. I'm going to exile it and then cast it for free. Or what other big nappy cards you have in your deck, commanders. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library. Good God. This is a good card. So much goodness. So much. And it says here, whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library. So like, you take the card off their deck and you get the 2/2 face down, which is probably why you can flip it up for 4 and actually cast it if it's not a creature. Yeah, this is going to be huge in Commander, and it's a mythic. Good lord. Wow, oh wow. So next we have Aurelia's Vindicator. This ought to be just fantastic. 2 white and 2 for a 4/2 flying, life-linking, ward 2 creature. That's fine. It's fine, right? Disguise, white, 3 colorless, and X. So when Aurelia's Vindicator's turn face up, exile the top X other creature cards from the battlefield and or creature cards from graveyards. When the Vindicator leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hands. So you play it face down. At any time, you can flip it face up, get all the cards in your graveyard or on the board if a Wrath's coming, put back into your hand. Yeah, this is plus it's a 4/2 with flying and lifelink and ward 2. Did I mention the ward 2 and the lifelink and the flying for 4 mana? This has got some this thing's limited commander standard. You know the drill. Anyway, next we have Kellen's back. Look at that Inquisitive Prodigy. Blue, green, and 2 for these 3/4 flying, vigilant. Everything's got flying and vigilance. Anyway, flying, vigilance. When Kellen's Inquisitive Prodigy attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you control that permanent, draw a card. This is disgusting. It's also an adventure. More cards for the adventure commander deck. Blue and a green. Investigate. If you play investigate, and then you may play an additional land this turn. Not bad for a rare, not going to lie. The ability to just blow stuff up when he attacks and has flying and vigilance makes this pretty good. Why is he a detective? Why? Anyway, moving on. Great card. Good card. Next we have Kaya, Spirit's Justice, black, white, 2 colorless for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. Whenever one or more creatures you control and or creature cards in your graveyards are put into exile, you may choose a creature card from among them. Until end of turn, target token you control becomes a copy of it, except it has flying. +2, surveil 2, then exile a card from your graveyard, i.e. the ability that's static. +1, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying, i.e. the static ability. And then -2, exile target card you control, exile target creature you control. For each other player, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. Wow, so you +1 and get a 1/1 spirit token, then you -2 on your creature, and you can basically board wipe everybody for 1, and you pick. Exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. Wow, this is a good commander card. Really good commander card. Also great in standard, limited all-star. Older sets probably not. I mean, too much mana doesn't do enough, but this is going to be it's going to see a lot of action. Till it rotates out. And always in Commander will it see some action, let me tell you. Man, let me tell you. Anyway, Judith is back. The Carnage Concierge. Red, black, and 3. Wow, she's gotten pricey. Put a little meat on. She's a 3/4. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery spell, you get to choose one. Spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink. That's kind of cool. Create a 2/2 red imp creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. I mean, it's fine for limited, maybe commander at best. But other than that, this just doesn't do it for me. Sorry, Judith. You're not as cool as you used to be. I still take her out to eat, though. Just saying. I'd buy her Starbucks. You know, get that white girl on. Anyway, so with that said, guys, that is all the spoilers for today. It was a long one, and that's not what she said. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, be kind. And as always, hope to see you across the game table. Hopefully I'll be with Judith here. Later, playa.